It is April 18th, 2024. Let's review today's trades. Big losing day, down 2,600 on the session. I feel like we came in with some really good ideas, and then did a really bad job managing risk later in the session here. Our overall first idea was really good, and then yeah, I don't know. It's did a really bad job managing risk later. We have to keep those fucking stops tight. And it appears that like our overall read of the session was accurate from the beginning, and we fought a lot to get these trades. Let's just look at the top step here. Oops. Top step. Here we go. All right, these are the trades for the session. Had a big buying pressure at the beginning of the session. My overall bias was bullish for this. That's why it's so weird what the market is doing right now. It's crazy. I mean, going into the session, my bias was bullish, and we did a really good job managing risk here, and we fought really hard to get in, to get in short, and we had overall targets at 36, this kind of 36 area. But as the session started to progress, we started to see kind of like what appeared to me was sellers failing, and that we were going to want to take out these stops, maybe get up to 104, or maybe even recross the entire gap. We had this 9-day value area was right here, and we just let these two losses really get away from us. This was a breakout pullback. It was like 1,400 here, and then another 1,200 here or something. So yeah, just stops. We were giving it breathing room, but it started to really fail against us. I'd prefer if we failed like 5 times in a row or something than just having one big loss, or 2 big losses like this in this case. So set us back a day and a half or so in profit, but yeah, it seemed like this thing was just going to want to keep pushing higher. But we didn't. Our first trade, this trade here at 94, was excellent. We fought 3 or 4 times to get into it, and we had targets at 36. It's kind of where we wanted to see, this thing stop at. So we kind of went against the overall big picture narrative and paid the price for it. But it just seemed, God, I got kind of tricked into this. I really was thinking that this was going to revert. Let's look at the main display here. At the beginning of the session, big sell-off, kind of re-supported at this 1-day value area high. Another breakout pullback across the entire value area. We were fighting. I think we got in short here. We did a really good job managing risk. And then sure enough, at this 194 area, right at the edge of this gap again, 194 here, which was also the yearly VWAP. We got selling from there. You could see we took this trade. We got in right at this peak here. I think we fought in twice for it. Let's see, what time was it? 11:23 or so. And then we got a nice long from here at this point of control, the 9-day point of control. But as we came up and retested this 9-day value area high, we crossed the entire thing. We were getting long. I think we got long here. Yeah, on this breakout, we expected us to be bullish from here. and we didn't. Failed, continued to fail down. And then we took more longs at 164 here. So at this kind of low value node, um, where was that? 164 here, right here. We expected to also want to hold here. It just seemed like there was so much bullish pressure. I was surprised that that it failed so heavily. So we had going into the session, we had a very good read of narrative, um, that this thing was going to want to just push down. Sure enough, this level we did get it, and we just didn't hold it. It's kind of unfortunate, but by this point, by the time the market got here, my ideas had changed, but I was wrong. We just didn't account for being wrong. Let's see. Yeah, this thing is still continuing to dump on NQ here. You can see that yeah, we came up and basically tested this point of control. This 1-day point of control sold off from here. And then we had this big gap that I was kind of marking that I was suspecting would be in confluence with the ES gap at 36 as well. So my long idea going in this session was to take a long here, kind of at the edge of this gap, to support. But we could want to cross this whole gap as well, and support here. But those are the kind of the two long ideas going into the session. Of course, we have a major 9-day value area. This is probably the same one that ES formed, just in a different level here on NQ. So we kind of had eyeballs and all of that. Our overall read has been good. Today, I think what really got us was our risk management, and just moving those stops. Every time we move those stops, those are the days that wipe us out like this. So we have edge. We're doing well. We have to keep those stops tight. We have to keep them tight, and just wait for those big risk versus reward trades. Because every time we move our stops, we'll get devastating losses like this. So we need to be more not flexible. We need to be more stubborn with our stop placement. I think we were getting away with some loose stops over the past 2 days, and every time that happens, we have issues. So I don't know if there's much else to talk about. Let's look at the VWAPs here, see what was going on. So we had long ideas with NQ here as well. It's big selling off. It also seemed like, up until this point it seemed like, especially on ES here, it seemed like the absorption, like there was a lot of absorption occurring here. Like it was taking a lot of contracts to move the market. So we had long ideas to get in here on NQ. We had a long idea to get in here at the delta neutral flush, and then maybe again here or something. Yeah, I think we had a long idea here. I think this is where we did get long initially off that point of control. Yeah, it was. But yeah, our overall narrative shifted about halfway through the day, and we started being more bullish biased, and we were just wrong. So we have to keep our fucking stops tight. Like I said, it's way better to fail 10 times in a row, 15 times in a row with tight stops than it is to fail once with a big stop. And we have overall, our ideas are good a lot of the times. We had the idea to get short from up here, and we didn't pull the trigger. We had an idea to get short from here as well. we didn't take it. Our overall narrative had shifted, and so our bias really carried into the session. Um, yeah, I suspected this thing was bullish. I mean, I could still be right. I could come back later, and I mean, I had targets kind of at this 104 point of control. But as we approached up here, we saw all these sellers just start to flood. So it seemed to me unlikely, even though there was stops here. I thought maybe we were going to try to go for this stop. As we approached, we started to see the thing just get filled, where it was like did not want to push through. And it was kind of teasing the highs there for a moment. So going in the session, we had very good trade ideas. Did a very good job managing risk. And as the session progressed, we let it get away from us. So we'll just call it there.